So Dana White just announced 2 new fights for UFC 299 and UFC 300. At UFC 299 is going to be Dustin Poirier versus Benoit Saint Denis. That's going to be a 5-round co-main event, which is absolutely fantastic. And then, not only that, we have at UFC 300, Charles Oliveira is going to be fighting Arman Tsarukyan in a title eliminator bout. Absolutely insane. And it's crazy how UFC 299 and UFC 300 is shaping up to be. I was a little bit, harsh on UFC 300, and I shouldn't be. These are like just the first few announcements. I'm assuming that this fight will be on the main card, but I'm fine with this fight being on the main card because it is a title eliminator bout between 2 of the top contenders in the lightweight division. I'm happy about that. And still, we haven't got all of the card yet. Every single fight that has been announced so far, we know the people that are fighting in these fights, which is absolutely great. But UFC 299 looks like a banger. I mean, it is a banger fight card. Holy crap, my lights just went out during the video. Holy crap. That was crazy. Anyway, that's besides the point. Holy crap. Let me get back on track. It's crazy. Let's talk about UFC 299 and Benoit Saint Denis versus Dustin Poirier. I made a video. I just never got it out. About the 5 fights that I want to see that haven't been announced by Dana White or the UFC that I want to see in 2024. And I'm not even trolling. I'm going to show you the note right now. I put Benoit Saint Denis and Dustin Poirier as one of those fights. And I can literally I have proof because I give you the timestamp as well. Let me see if I can find so right here, I'm going to show you right now. Look at this, January 4th. I don't know if you guys can see that. January 4th, 2024 at 3:09. 5 fights I want to be made for UFC in 2024. Tom Aspinall for John Jones. I mean, listen, I don't know if this video is going to come out, but look, if you guys see Benoit Saint Denis versus Dustin Poirier. I don't know if you guys could see that, but because my camera's weird. But anyway, I made that video or made that notes on the 4th, and I recorded it on the 4th, right? And the fact that now this fight was made is absolutely unreal. It's like fucking Dana White somehow saw my fucking list or something like that. I'm just kidding. It's not really that serious. They were probably thinking about making a fight like this for Dustin Poirier, trying to get Dustin Poirier active. And Dustin Poirier actually took this fight against Benoit Saint Denis. That is fantastic stuff right there. I love this fight. I think this fight is fantastic on paper. 2 really exciting guys in the UFC. Really exciting fighters overall. And it's a tough fight to predict because, I saw Lucas Tracy's video. Shout out to Lucas Tracy. I always give a shout out to Lucas Tracy because, he's the guy that I watch the most when it comes to MMA YouTube. And I saw his prediction that he said that Benoit Saint Denis is going to just completely dominate Dustin Poirier. And I'm going to have to put that on hold real quick. Because, don't get me wrong, Benoit Saint Denis is a fantastic fighter, but this is the first time. This is a big-time fight for him and his biggest competition ever. I mean, Dustin Poirier is the best fighter that he has faced in his entire career. We've seen Dustin Poirier in these situations before. We've seen him in 5-round fights, and he has thrived in those fights. And obviously, he has struggled in some of those fights as well. You know what I mean? When he fought Charles Oliveira, he obviously got submitted. Khabib Nurmagomedov, he got submitted as well. And Benoit Saint Denis is a top-tier grappler in the lightweight division. He is going to struggle against Benoit Saint Denis, but Benoit Saint Denis has not been in this situation. I don't think he's been in a 5-round fight in his entire career. In the UFC, he's always fought 3-round fights. Unless he's going to get him out early, maybe in the first 3 rounds, we have to see where it goes. If it passed 4 rounds, is Dustin Poirier going to be able to change the landscape of the fight? We don't know yet because, we can always assume that Benoit Saint Denis is going to have great cardio and he's going to be able to last the longer rounds, in the 4th and 5th rounds, right? But we don't know that yet. He hasn't proven that yet. But we'll see. We'll see. At UFC 299, it's a 5-round co-main event bout. They want this to be 5 rounds. That's great. It is the co-main event. That is a great co-main event for that card. And it's a great fight because Dustin Poirier is obviously one of the bigger guys, bigger names in the division, right? And Benoit Saint Denis, he's an up-and-coming guy, but very exciting fighter. So this fight is fantastic. I'm going to go with Benoit Saint Denis, but I'm not, going to count out Dustin Poirier just yet, just like how Lucas Tracy did. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that whatsoever. I think that it's going to be a very competitive fight, and I think at some point maybe Benoit, I'm going to go with Benoit Saint Denis getting a submission in probably the third round. I think he's going to be able to find some type of submission on Dustin Poirier. I think Dustin Poirier's going to open up, and Benoit Saint Denis is going to be able to get a submission in that round, in my opinion. I think we're not going to see the 4th and 5th rounds. I think he's going to be able to catch him, probably get him with a good takedown, and probably submit him with Dustin Poirier making some type of mistake. I think that's what's going to happen, but I could be completely wrong. I am not counting Dustin Poirier out. I'm not confident in that pick whatsoever. I can definitely see Dustin Poirier get, a finish as well. Or get the unanimous decision victory. I can definitely see that 100% because Dustin Poirier is still one of the better fighters in the lightweight division. I still think he's a top 5 guy in that division. When it comes to just who are the best 5 fighters, he's in that conversation. He is in that top 5 100% in my honest opinion. So I'm going to go, but I will go with Benoit Saint Denis getting the victory over Dustin Poirier at UFC 299. But let's talk about Charles Oliveira versus Arman Tsarukyan. This is a great fight, obviously. This is not rumored to be, there's no 5-round fight, so I'm assuming that this is probably one of the first few fights of the main card. I think this is going to be a main card fight. Let's just be honest, guys, okay? I think Arman, even though I'm not a big fan of Arman, let's just be honest. I'm not a big fan of Arman. I don't really like his fight style. I mean, it's all right. You know what I mean? He had a great fight against Mateusz Gamrot. That was a very entertaining fight. I didn't like his fight previous to Beneil Dariush. I didn't like that fight. I thought that he did not have a great performance. And we'll see how he does against somebody like Charles Oliveira, who is on a whole nother level. Charles Oliveira is he's literally the second best fighter in that division, in my honest opinion. He is the clear number 2 in my eyes. I understand a lot of people are going to think Justin Gaethje. Well, last time Justin Gaethje and Charles Oliveira fought, who won? And who got the finish in the first round? It was Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira, to me, is still the best fighter in that division, or the second best, behind Islam Makhachev. Arman Tsarukyan, I can definitely see him win. Don't get me wrong. And he right now is the favorite to win this fight. I think right now, if you look at the odds, I think he's minus 195 or something like that. I think he's the favorite right now. He's not a heavy favorite, obviously, because Charles Oliveira is Charles Oliveira. You don't count out Charles Oliveira, make him a minus or plus 300 underdog, right? But still, him being a favorite is absolutely fun. Arman Tsarukyan being a favorite is absolutely funny because they just keep doubting Charles Oliveira. I never doubted Charles Oliveira. I predicted Charles Oliveira to beat Beneil Dariush last year, right? This time, I am still picking Charles Oliveira. Listen, Arman Tsarukyan is kind of similar, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, what? He's similar in a way. His fight style is similar to Islam Makhachev. I feel like that's the reason why, the people that made the odds probably made the odds like that. It's because Arman Tsarukyan, if you saw his last fight against Beneil Dariush, he was able to get a clean knockout on him. And it looks like that his striking has got a little bit better. And whose striking has gotten better with time? Islam Makhachev. Islam Makhachev is one of now a top-tier striker in that division with the knockout against Alexander Volkanovski, right? We look at that fight and it's whoa. He's definitely one of the better strikers in that division now, right? Arman Tsarukyan, even though, it was just a knockout, they're probably thinking that Arman Tsarukyan's striking is now very good. I don't believe that to be the case, especially when you compare him and Islam Makhachev. I think Islam Makhachev is a way much better striker than Arman Tsarukyan by a lot. And who is a great striker? Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira is one of the better strikers in this division as well. And Arman, I don't think he wants to stand with Charles. I don't think he will. I think he's going to try and grapple with him. I think. Or try and get that knockout KO and just put him out early, just like how we did Beneil Dariush. I mean, but Charles Oliveira is a crafty veteran. I see Charles Oliveira being able, listen, I think over time, Charles Oliveira is getting smarter and smarter. And you saw that against his fight against Beneil Dariush. He was super aggressive, but he was super tactical in the way he was striking. And it looked great. He didn't really get touched that much by Beneil Dariush whatsoever. He did a great job in fending off the strikes of Beneil Dariush. And I understand Beneil Dariush is Beneil Dariush, whatever. I'm saying his name too many fucking times. I'm going to stop saying his name. But still, I feel like Charles Oliveira is still a top tier guy, and he's only like, I still think that he can get better. I still genuinely believe that. You might call me crazy for that, but I really don't care, to be honest with you. I think Charles Oliveira is still a crafty veteran that he is. The way he's able to get these finishes, I think he's going to get the finish in the second round of this fight. I think that Arman is going to make a mistake, and I think Oliveira is going to be able to catch him, and I think he's going to get, I'm going to say submission. I think that he's going to probably drop Arman Tsarukyan. Arman Tsarukyan is a little chinny. We saw that against in his fight before. I forgot who the hell he fought before fighting Beneil Dariush, but he got rocked in an exchange with that one dude that he fought, right? I genuinely believe that Arman Tsarukyan is going to get caught, and he's going to, and I think Charles Oliveira is going to take advantage, and I think he's going to get the finish in the second round. I genuinely believe that 100%. Well, not 100%, because Arman Tsarukyan is still a great fighter, and I wouldn't be surprised if you pick him to win this fight, because he is definitely one of the best fighters in that division as well. The lightweight division is completely stacked, and Arman Tsarukyan, if he gets to finish on Charles Oliveira, I mean, how can you deny him of a championship fight between him and Islam Makhachev, which will be the second fight between the two of them? I don't see that whatsoever. I mean, it's going to be competitive, I think, until that second round where Oliveira catches him. And I think Oliveira is going to get the victory. Not super confident in this one, to be honest with you. Just because Charles Oliveira is also a little chinny. He's been dropped before on a multitude of occasions. He got dropped by Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Islam Makhachev, Michael Chandler. These are all the people that have dropped him. And obviously in his previous fights before, he's been dropped before. That's all I have to say. And Arman Tsarukyan, I mean, you saw what he did against Beneil Dariush. He dropped him and knocked him out cold. So we'll have to see what happens with this fight. But this is a great fight. UFC 300, hopefully they continue to put on these great fights for UFC 300. But UFC 299 and 300 might be the greatest back-to-back fight cards in the history of the sport. UFC 299 looks fantastic. Right now, it already looks better than UFC 300. But I know that UFC 300 is going to get better. I think on paper, UFC 299 and 300 are going to be the best back-to-back pay-per-views when it comes to just name-wise of all time. 100%. So we'll have to see what happens with UFC, because they're going to continue to announce fights for UFC 300. UFC 299 is pretty much set. You don't have to really add anything else for UFC 299. They're good, right? But 300, they're obviously going to announce a main event for that. The co-main event. This is probably going to be the first fight of the main card. I'm predicting that will be it. But yeah, great fights overall to be announced by Dana White. Let me know what you guys think of the fights. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon with another video. Peace.